go ahead and have some introductions here. Looking down here in the back, we actually have a mother-baby pair. And introducing first, we're here with Julie. We do have Takara. Now Takara here is 20 years old, and believe it or not, she has lived at all of our SeaWorld parks. And she was born at SeaWorld San Diego. Now Takara here is a little over 17 feet, weighs in at 4,700 pounds. And for a size comparison, we do have her baby Sakari here. Sakari is turned 2 in January, and she already weighs over 1,300 pounds. Now while Sakari is split out, it kind of gives you a good look at their coloration. You'll notice the top or dorsal side of the killer whales is very dark, whereas their ventral side of their belly is very light. Now that is a form of counter shading, or what we call camouflage. So if the predator or prey is looking down, their back should blend in with the sea floor, but if you're looking up, they should blend in with the sky or the top of the water. Now, Bird, once you get your cameras right, it looks like Sakari's going to go on some bows over here. Excellent job. Now, as you notice, as Sakari was jumping through the air, when Carly actually blew this whistle that is around her neck, and we call that a bridge. Now, people ask us all the time, why do you have that whistle? Basically, that just tells the animals that they're doing something correct, and they can come back for some type of reinforcement. Now, here at SeaWorld, we only use positive reinforcement when training our animals, and that includes the sea lions, the dolphins, and even the whales right here at Shamu Stadium. And what that means is that if they do something correct, they can come back for something that they enjoy. Now, most of you are thinking, yes, they get lots of fish, but then you get a lot of other types of things here that kind of keep that reinforcement history going, and some of those things can be tactile or rub downs. Killer whales are very tactile animals. They like to be rubbed down. They like the back rub just like you or I would. They like ice. Our boys really like frozen jello. They can get toys. Lots of different things that are fun and reinforcing, and that's just going to keep them wanting to do that behavior there in the future. Now, you guys are very fortunate because most of the guests who walk into SeaWorld only get to see our shows. Now, this is kind of like behind the scenes, kind of more what our day actually looks like. We have a variety of different types of sessions, and yes, some of them are shows, but we also have a variety of sessions, some of which are husbandry, and that's basically all of our medical sessions. We have learns, obviously. Sakari here just turned 2 in January. She has a lot to learn, and she's already learned quite a bit. We have our relationship sessions, and that's where we just hang out with the animals, not really ask a whole lot of them, but just really spend some quality time with our whales. Probably our favorite type of session of the day. We have exercise sessions, kind of like those bows you just saw Sakari do. Want to make sure they stay in shape. And the learns, kind of that mental workout as well. Now basically, like I said, this is kind of a behind the scenes thing. We're actually going to work on a couple different behaviors with our mom and baby. And as you'll notice, Takara over there is working with Julie, and we're just taking Sakari over there to say, hey, that's where mom is, go check on her, and we're going to come back out here and do some more fun things.
Okay, just make sure you see, if you can't see this thing.
Now I did mention Sakari is a little over 1,300 pounds, pretty big for a 2-year-old, and she is eating about 65 pounds of fish a day. And that is a variety of different types of fish. It's all restaurant quality. She gets Petepenguin, herring. Can y'all hear that? Hear those vocalizations? That one's a little bit easier to hear. Now, believe it or not, killer whales do not have vocal cords like you or I, but they actually make all of those vocalizations using the blowhole, which is located right on top of their head. They actually manipulate that layer of skin and blow air through it, kind of like a balloon. Now that's excellent. If you look as the car comes along that far wall, you can see that coloration I was talking about. Now talking about counter shading, killer whales are white and black, but believe it or not, they do have a third color. Anybody guess what that is? Great. That is absolutely correct. You'll notice when Sakari comes back, if you get a close look, she actually does have a saddle patch, a little gray area right behind her dorsal fin. And that is very unique to each and every killer whale. It's one way that you can tell them apart. Now, Sakari is pretty easy to tell apart. She is the smallest whale here at Shamu Stadium. But our largest whale weighs in at over 8,300 pounds. Now, earlier I was talking about our husbandry sessions. Those are the most important sessions that we have each and every day. Because the most important thing to us is that our killer whales are healthy and thriving. Now, over here with you can see Sakari's ball just sitting out, laying out. This is called a ventral layout. What this allows us to do is actually do a visual look over of our whales each and every day. The whales here at Shamu Stadium are also trained to give voluntary bloods, voluntary urines, lots of different things that help them help us make sure they're in their optimal health. Now you'll notice the pectoral flippers that Julie's kind of pointing out over here. Believe it or not, just inside those flippers looks kind of like your hand. They have 5 digits in there. And the flippers, they use them to stop and steer as they move through the water. And then they use that dorsal fin for stability. And then all the way back here at the back, that tail or low-haul tail flip is where they get all that power for propulsion. Believe it or not, killer whales are the fastest marine mammals, and they can reach speeds up to 30 miles per hour, which is pretty quick. Now the tail fluke over here that Julie is running is actually also where we take those voluntary blood samples. Or Sakari showing off her tail fluke, you can see there's quite a size difference. Now you may also see right here on Sakari there's a little black spot. Anybody guess what that is? Any guesses? Yes, that is right. That is their belly button. Killer whales are marine mammals just like you and I. And they do have live birth. They also nurse their young. Another thing that makes them mammals, believe it or not, is hair. Now, you don't see hairy killer whales swimming around. Frankly, they're kind of creep me out. But believe it or not, they're born with whiskers, but they do shed off in the first couple of days of life. Now also, for you guys over here, you'll see inside Sakari's mouth, she does have all those teeth. Believe it or not, killer whales have between 44 and 52 conical or cone-shaped teeth. And they don't chew their food, but they use those teeth to grasp it and then swallow it whole. Now you'll notice Sakari right here kind of got a little car wash or a little wash down. Believe it or not, that's something else that we've found is reinforcement to our animals. Not fish all the time. We just want to find things that enrich their day that they find pretty enjoyable. Whereas those of you over here might even notice that Takara's been carrying something around. Believe it or not, that's a piece of kelp. One bit out of your camera so you can see Sakari doing their little fluke right here. It's pretty cute. Here at SeaWorld San Antonio, it's a really good question. We just asked how many whales do we have? And we have 5. We have 5 killer whales. We have 3 females and 2 males. A little bit of a lake warning. It is always the splash zone here at Shamu Stadium. Now, don't blame Carly. Believe it or not, she didn't ask her to do that. But it does happen from time to time. Everybody look at your camera side and just get a great picture of mom and baby posing next to each other.
One's in charge of the baby and one's in charge of the baby.
Excellent job. Now, like I said, this is actually one of our favorite parts of the day because it's right each and every one of you gets to come back and see what our day is really like. Most of our guests only get to see those shows. So we really appreciate each and every one of you coming out here today. This is going to conclude our Dine with Shamu interaction. However, the buffet is still there, so go ahead and grab some cookies on your way out. If you have not seen the show yet, though, we do have a 2:31 Ocean show, and the stadium will be opening around 2 o'clock. So if you want to get up there and get some of the prime seats before the rest of